Hi guys, Paul here from PABrewNews. Got a beer here from the Lagunitas Brewing Company. They're from Petaluma, California. I think from Chicago, Illinois as well. This is their Willetized coffee stout aged in rye oak barrels from 2019. And again, 12.4 alcohol by the volume. So I love a good session strength barrel aged imperial stout. Yes. Okay, so I will say right now the Willetized, the coffee, the bourbon barrel aged imperial stout rather, from Lagunitas Brewing Company was sent to me a long time ago by the sexiest man on YouTube, Kevin Clements from Clements Homebrew, and it was probably $8.99 when he bought it per bottle. And this was we're talking about a 16-ounce bottle of 12.4 alcohol by volume bourbon barrel aged imperial stout for $8.99. Disgustingly, deliciously priced. And when I drank that beer, it was a 9.5 out of 10. It was amazing. So Lagunitas just knocking those prices out of the park, kind of like, I don't know, bastardizing in the greatest way the whole idea of craft beer. Just making this beautiful craft beer. They've been doing it for a long time. Before they had more than one brewing company, believe me, and just mocking the prices of other craft brews. Just slamming them to the ground and giving you such quality. And if I feel like a bastard for saying that, fuck them. I think it's amazing. I love the price of Lagunitas. I love the quality of Lagunitas. I've never had a beer from Lagunitas that was less than great, if you know what I mean, the quality wise. And the price has always been amazing. The cappuccino stout 5 years ago was only like $5 for a 16-ounce kind of bottle. You know what I mean? Just wow. If you know what I mean. The wow factor has been there and is still there. And the people who don't like them, you know, hey, that's your problem. That's your problem. Okay? But we'll see what this one has to offer. Maybe my wow factor will be lost today. So we'll find out. This is a 12.4 alcohol by volume coffee imperial stout aged in oak rye whiskey barrels. So let's check it out. Put in the Avery Brewing Company glass. I picked this up at Bloom Brew in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, Route 11. Bloomsburg, and we're just going to throw it into the 10-ounce line, waft it around, up to the light, a little bit of a ruby hue from the pink on the glass. Alcohol legs sticking from that 12.4% for sure. A little bit of lacing trying to stick there too, back and forth, back and forth. Not a lot of protein sticking to the side of the glass, which is surprising. It's indicative of more of a thinner beer, but we'll see what happens. A lot of lacing and a little bit of, actually a lot of alcohol legs, and a little bit of lacing sticking to the side of the glass. Listen to the Nosferatu soundtrack. Let's get a aroma. Cheers. Holy shit. That's nice. Wow, let's do that again. Wow. That is peppery rye caramel. Holy crap. That is a nice smell. It's walnut husk, rye, peppery, caramel goodness. Like drizzle all over those nuts, walnuts, little milk, baker's chocolate. This nose is absolutely insane. In the mem of the brain. What the hell, man? What the hell? Is there anything else I can read on here? There's a whole spiel around the side. From our friend, the Kentucky distiller, J.D. Willett himself. Oh, Willett bourbon is really nice. We have one, if you haven't noticed, lots of air, you can see my breath really bad. We have one type of barrel, wood. We put two things in them, and once they efficiently spent, we score some of those scrutable casks from JD and put one thing in them. Beer. The taste tells it's good to have friends. Let us know what you think. 707-769-4495. I think that's their phone number for Lagunitas. So yeah, The only thing I got from that was it's Willet bourbon, so it's Willet whiskey. I mean, it technically it's from Kentucky, so it's a Willet bourbon. So this is from Willetized, of course. We already knew this one, Willetized, and that still remains the same. Willetized bourbon, and there you go. I mean, it's nice though that a company will let you know exactly what type of bourbon it's using. So obviously it's rye. I'd have to assume it's a rye bourbon. It's a rye version of the bourbon because why would it be rye, rye age? Rye oak barrels. So it didn't mention that, but of course it mentions it right here. The rye oak from 2019. I don't know when the year of the barrels is from, but it's nice for a brewery to let you know. I was hoping to find some mystery in that little speech I just gave you, but there was no mystery. It's Willetized bourbon. Obviously, it's Willet bourbon, but rye version. But it is nice that a brewery does tell you what type of barrel it's putting it in, because a lot of them don't. And by the way, I do know that there's no legalized standard of putting bourbon whether it's not put in Kentucky bourbon or whiskey bourbon or Pennsylvania bourbon. But the thing is, it's a respect for tradition and respect for localization. And a lot of people don't hold themselves to that respect level that I do. And it's one of those things where you get champagne that's not brewed in the Champagne region of France. A person that knows what they're dealing with and what they're brewing and what they're making will call it sparkling wine if it's not made in the Champagne region of France, because that's respect for the tradition and respect for the style. A person that makes bourbon in a place other than Kentucky will not call it bourbon. It will call it whiskey because of the respect for the style and tradition of what they're brewing. That's why we don't call it Scotch if it is not laid in a barrel for 5 years in Scotland. That's why we do these things. That's why we have this industry. So people that think it's okay to say things like that, you know what? There you go. That's why the whole idea of many different types and archetypes and definitions of things in our lives seems so gray today. And yes, that is a broader spectrum than what I'm talking about with beer and life. If you know what I mean. Yeah, damn. Liberal bastard. Millennial pieces of shit. Okay, anyway. So let's get... Cheers. It is a bit thin. It is a bit thin. The protein showed that in the glass, and it is wafting through. It's that medium side of a medium body, tapering to the high side of a medium body. A little bit of oiliness in there, but wow, those are some bombastic flavors. Really nice peppery rye character coming from that bourbon. Nice lot of caramel, baker's chocolate, a little bit of roasted toasted tones. A little bit of a smokiness, walnut husk. However, this thing could use for a real big body boost. A real big body boost. Drinkability is insane. Does not taste like 12.4. I would say this is about 8 if I really had to do it without a ABV. 12.4 is insane. It really drinks well. I do think it's still a little bit thin. Even if it was 8%, I still think it's a bit thin. But from what I'm tasting to what I'm getting, it is a very, very fine beer. I would say the bombastic natures of what I'm drinking from the barrel, mixing to what I'm drinking from the beer, is lifting this up pretty high for me. For rating wise, you have a nice peppery rye caramel bourbon. You have a lot of nice earthy qualities, a little bit of walnut husk too, milk chocolate, baker's chocolate, kind of wafting around there together. It drinks like a fucking dream. It has that little bit of a thin quality, which adds to the drinkability, but to me, the body's a bit thin. But It does drink like an 8% beer, not a 12.4% alcohol by volume beer. So that speaks volumes within and of itself. I'm not going to throw it to high accolades, but I want to make sure this beer gets a nice review, concise review, but yet a quick review. I don't want to go too long, and I know I've been going on for quite a long time already. I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. It's a delicious beer. If you haven't tried this, please do. Don't even just buy one. Buy the 4-pack. I think it's well worth it. And I think you'll have a great time drinking this one too. And the more you drink it, the easier it's going to become. The more acclimated your palate's going to get to it. The more it's going to be delectable. It's really going to be delectable. It reminds me of KBS in a certain way of how drinkable it is for the ABV that it has. But honestly, this has that more brightness to it. That really bright, rye, peppery goodness that really makes it vibrant and lively and very enjoyable. This has been Paul from PABrewNews. Cheers. 9 out of 10 all day. Cheers.